This is the Dreyer podcast, a podcast all about siblings and the people, places, and pop culture that raised us. I'm Ryan, one of the hosts, and my sister Jacqueline will join us in just a minute here. In today's episode, we start off by explaining our absence. It's been several weeks since our last episode, and we want to let people know what was going on behind the scenes and why it's taken us so long to release a new episode. Then Jacqueline will talk a little bit about her obsession with the show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And then I will read a text that I received from a listener / one of my best friends who corroborates a story about just how haunted our house was on Dreyer Drive. Then we'll dive into today's main topic, which is all about the Kellogg brothers, a story that reconfirms to me to never go into business with a sibling. And finally, we'll wrap up this episode the same way we wrap up every other episode of the Dreyer Drive podcast with an unhinged text message from a family member. And this week's text message comes from me as I reestablish my position on the throne of the best-selling author in the Porter family. Let's do this.
Let's have a confessional. Let's explain what happened.
Yeah, so the last episode we released, we finished with like, hey, spooky listeners, like we've got a Halloween episode coming up and we want everybody to go and watch this movie, Little Monsters, because it played such a critical part of our childhood. And
loved it.
Yeah, so we both watched it, and two things happened in the last recording. One, we didn't record half of it. We found out like halfway through, we're like, oh, we're not recording. And not we, I shouldn't, it was, this is one I will actually, usually I push all the blame on you. This one was all on me. I didn't click the record it, like the record button, or I did, and for some reason, maybe like I double clicked it, and it clicked and recorded like half a second, and then stopped recording. Anyways. Didn't record half of it, and then we're like, oh, we didn't record all of this great funny stuff. Yeah, so we missed the whole first half where all of the goodness happens, all of the funny, quirky, witty stuff. And then we're like, all right, well, we'll just record the second half of this and we'll release that. But you and I both came to similar conclusions after watching Little Monsters that it's actually about human trafficking and child abuse. And again,
so yeah, it wasn't quite the cutie little movie that we thought it was.
No, and there's a bunch of people online that are like, there's no way you guys are reading it. Like you guys, everyone who thinks that is just trying to, buzzkill a funny childhood movie. But I just couldn't shake it. And we debated, like, even at the end of the episode, like I went back and read the transcript and we were like, you know what? Like maybe this is it. Maybe sometimes looking back on our childhood, like the nostalgic things are not that nostalgic, or there was actually something embedded in there that we didn't pick up on as we were kids or when we were kids. But it didn't feel right to release the episode because you and I were just like, kind of went to like not a dark place, but a dark place.
Yeah, it was it got dark in the sense that we were both kind of like, afterwards. That's the emotion that I had, was that sad groan, like, oh boy, like I don't know what to do with this information. It was like a bummer, right? I think that's what it came down to me. Like not a dark place as much as like, I don't think we want this podcast to be like entertaining and funny, but I don't want it to be a bummer. Like I don't want to trigger anybody. I don't want anybody to come away being like, okay, thanks for making me watch that weird movie now.
Yeah, so sorry to anybody that watched it, by the way, and you picked up on the same vibe. Like sorry to any of our listeners that were like, yeah,
delete it from your brain.
Yeah, let's be part of this. Let's be part of this. Yeah, I had messaged you a couple times and I was like, I'm kind of in a funk after the episode. Like I was bummed out that we missed a ton of great stuff at the beginning, obviously. But then I was also just bummed that like I watched this movie and had a realization. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, or else we'll start going down that rabbit hole again. We'll be like, and this is what you guys missed. And you guys, there's enough stuff online. If you want to read about it, go ahead and read about it. It just didn't feel like it was Dreyer Drive podcast material. So what we did is we're like, okay, we'll just not talk to each other for a month and we'll just pick it back up. No.
Yeah. And honestly, like, what's the point of having your own podcast if you can't just be like, yeah, we're not recording today?
Yeah, except for the death threats that we get from all of our regular listeners.
Crispies. Sorry, Crispies. I did have one complaint, like an in-person complaint that it seemed like this episode was taking a long time. Someone was like, it seems like you haven't put out an episode in a while. Like, what's taking so long? It was Justin. Yeah, right. Is it Justin listens to this podcast? No, they were like, what's taking so long? It feels like it's been a long time. I'm like, it's because it has been a long time. Like we just had to take a little, I would say hiatus. It's our hiatus. We took a little breather from it. And I think we're back. We're back and ready to go with some non-creepy topics.
Yeah, non-creepy. Also, define back. We're back to what?
To whatever this, to miking ourselves up, getting into the confessionals, getting into the hard stuff that we're talking about. No, we're not talking about anything hard ever again.
No, the conspiracy theories and all that fun stuff. But you said something at the beginning of this episode that reminded me of something. So you had said that you watched the show, what is it? The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I don't like when people try to rhyme, but not rhyme. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, did they try? Were they trying to make like a catchy little thing?
Yeah, like the whole like the when you like the opening of the show is them and they're always doing like the shush sounds. Like the whole idea of the show is that these girls pretend or portray to be good Mormons, quote unquote good Mormons, but then they have these like internal secret lives that are really crazy.
And like the crazy lives are like what? Like at home I don't drink Diet Coke.
full sugar Coke. There's a lot of cheating. The whole thing that happened. This is going to become a Secret Lives of Mormon Wives podcast. I'm sorry. The whole thing that the catalyst to them getting this show was there used to be this thing called Mom Talk, and Mom Talk was a group of Mormon moms that did like dances and stuff like that. And Mom Talk was going on for like a year. It was really popular. And then one day, Mom Talk, one of the original people of Mom Talk came out and said that they had been swinging in the Mom Talk group.
Oh, so okay.
True. And so it came out, she had gotten mad at one of the other Mom Talk participants, and she was like, okay, well, I'm going to go public, and we've been swinging. And because of that, it created this huge scandal, and they ended up getting their own show because of it, because of these secret lives that they had outside of it.
I hate that that's the reward. They're like, you know what? We're gonna gift you your own show now. For all of that, you get your own show. Isn't that the way that it works? More sometimes?
Attention. Yeah. Bad behavior equals more attention.
That sucks.
What a bummer.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is, you had said that like it hits close to home, and like I'm guessing you also like imagine yourself in the circle of the Secret Lives, Mormon Wives.
Yeah,
group.
I was talking to best friend of the pod, Erin, and she was asking me like, do you have any like connections? And I do have.
Do you have any secrets? She asked you, do you have any secrets?
I don't have any secrets. Do you have a secret life? But I do have a few. Utah is very small, so it's impossible to not have like social connections with people.
Yeah,
so it is very easy.
And I think it's really natural. Where an average person would say something like, an average person would search for a connection, right? Like an average.
Okay, well, first of all, I would like you to stop calling me an average person.
No, here's what I'm about to say. There's another level to it, which I would say, everyone searches for a connection, right? Like, here's how this impacts me. Here's how it's related to me. And it's usually like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever, right? 6 degrees of separation or whatever it's called. But then there's the psychopaths that try to like make it fully about them, or that fully group themselves into something. Because I've noticed lately a few times, 2 specific occasions, that I do something that I believe is slightly psychopath behavior or sociopath behavior. Let's go with that. Where you do something. So we've talked about the house building process. So we're back in. We're back in. I think we talked about it.
You're back at the podcast, back building a house. Like back building houses.
Amazing. Yeah. 4 weeks can pack a punch, but we're back in there. And this time I'm like I've got like 3D rendering software installed on my computer so that I can like actually design the house. And I shared with you a little bit. Maybe we'll share that clip in the Substack, but actually in there. And we were at the home builder's office, and I said something, and I kind of like caught myself being like, afterwards I was like, why would I say that and not say the rest of it? So I say this thing where I'm like, other architects, they do things like blah, 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 or other architects would approach this problem like this, but I don't mention any other architects, which kind of makes me seem as the architect.
As if you were the person.
Yeah. I'm like, other architects would approach this problem like this, but here's how I approached it. And it's like, I'm not an architect, but the way that I framed the sentence, and I was on a call with a buddy and I hadn't talked to him in a while. And I said this thing where I was like, other comedians, they would have finished it like blah, 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 blah. But I finished it like, and after I said, I'm like, but I'm not a comedian.
As a comedian, that's a comedian myself.
I don't know why I would ever say that. I don't know why I would ever be like, other people who do this thing that I don't do, but I'm not going to qualify with another person for comparison, which means now I am that person. Yeah. So I think you talking about other Mormon wives, I think it makes sense because you're a Mormon wife.
There's a connection there.
Yeah, there's a connection. and people try to make it about themselves. But the sociopaths make them be this. They somehow twist it so that they're the... Anyway, we've talked about that at length on this podcast. I'm not going to go deeper on that one.
Well,
but I noticed it twice.
The best thing that Jonathan, like the best advice Jonathan has ever given me, our brother, younger brother Jonathan. I'm the middle brother. What am I talking about? Younger brother Jonathan. I had a trip. We were going to France, and we were traveling. And I was really nervous about, like I always say, I speak restaurant French. I can order in a restaurant. That's about it. And I was telling Jonathan,
you can
like,
say poulet.
Just don't.
You can say chicken.
I get obviously same poulet, easy. And so I was telling Jonathan how nervous I was about it, about what they would think because my French is not good. And he was like, Jacqueline, nobody in France cares about you. And I was like, you know what, Jonathan? That hurts. It's hurtful. But he's absolutely right. The amount of times that I go into a situation, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to think X, Y, Z about me. And I'm like, no, they don't. They forgot I existed the moment I left. I don't know why I think I'm that important.
I would love to have that thought at some point. Where it just pops in and be like, they don't care. Because even if they don't care, I care. And I'm like, you should care. You should care if I'm mispronouncing something. Like, you should care. Now I'm taking like double burden. I care, and I care that you don't care, and now I think that you should care, and all of this is just cycling through my brain.
No, in my head, everybody's going home from work being like, that one woman that came in, like, what a wild ride that was. I'll remember her forever. And it's like, there was 300 people asking for croissants that day. I don't know why I think it was me.
The amount of, when you're like, you prepare an assignment in advance and it's going to be good. Like, you got it, you nailed it. And you walk with like a little bit of like an extra bounce in your step as you walk into whatever place you're going to hand in, submit, perform, do whatever. I don't know why I threw perform in there.
Because you're a comedian.
Because I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian architect. The way that I walked into the home builder's office last week, knowing that I had a picture on my phone of the floor plan that I created using this software, like I was just waiting for him. Like, he pulled out his tablet and he's like, all right, well, here's what I prepared. And I'm like, well, here's what I've prepared.
That's a great start. I feel like that's a great start. Let me show you.
Other architects might approach it that way.
Okay. One time, it was when Addie, my oldest, was probably in like 10th grade. She was given an assignment in English class, and it was to write an essay, a persuasive essay. And as part of the rubric, they had to visit this website that was a really good example of a persuasive essay, and they needed to read the essay and then write their own. As we were going through it, we realized that the persuasive essay that she's given them to read, I have written personally. I wrote it. She found it on the internet. And was using my persuasive essay as an example of how to write a persuasive essay. Pep in the step. Like, when you talk about pep in the step, like I'm like, okay, I'll teach this English class. Like, what are you talking about with me? Like, put me in, coach. I'm ready. So because of that, I was so like excited about the fact that like everybody was using my persuasive essay as the perfect examples, the shining example of how to write, that I was like, Addie, let me write this one. Like, I know it's cheating, guys. I know it's cheating, but I was really excited. I love writing essays. Essays is like my number one favorite thing to do. So I was like, just like, let me write this one just so I can experience it. And like, also I know you're going to nail it. And because I'm the shining example. So I write the essay. She hands it in. I got a B-. I got a B- on Addison's essay. are you joking me? And then I couldn't go to the teacher and be like, hey, I wrote the example and you gave me a B minus.
I wrote the example and this actual essay. These are both written by me.
They were both flawless, might I add. And she gave me a B minus. And my family here has never let me live that down. The fact that I got a B minus on a persuasive essay.
I love that you reading a previous essay somehow inspired you to write a current essay.
I was like, this is so good. So good. Like that callback, the conclusion. Great. That's what I love. I love a good essay. I love a good hamburger essay.
I can picture that page in the textbook where it actually shows.
Nothing makes me happier. Organizing information. It's what I do. Wait until you hear about all the things I have to tell you today about the information that I've organized.
Although none of it is organized. That's the thing. That's the punchline. None of it is organized ever.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I see a scribble hammer. I just saw scribbles. Literally scribbles. Like you...
Scribbles, and at the top, please notice that it just says Citizen Grain. Can you just there's a little sneak peek into what today is about.
Is that you retitling something that you thought was more clever?
Yeah, it was pretty clever.
I like it.
I'm gonna get A+++.
So last episode, there were the last episode that we didn't record but thought we were recording and then didn't release the actual recorded part. There was something that I wanted to revisit because I think it's important for everybody to close the loop on something. And we had talked about in that episode, it's the last released episode, about the haunting of 26 Dreyer Drive. Right? We had talked about how it's actually haunted. There was a gnome. It visited you in your sleep and it scratched
my arms.
It did the same to Dallin. And then in the basement, I had written some graffiti on the wall and was visited by an evil spirit while I was down
Again, the graffiti that you believe conjured an evil spirit because the name that you used in graffiti was so evil that you actually summoned something from the depths of hell.
Yeah, from the underworld to visit me in my sleep because I had written the graffiti thing. But I did want to call this...
Which, dear listeners, he has still not told me what
I will not say it out loud. I will not say... in this demon-free home, you know what I'm going to do? We are going to... The last thing that I pack... The last thing that I pack in this house will be this setup. And as the day I'm getting ready to leave, I will whisper it into the microphone. I will throw the microphone into the garbage.
Then I
will go to the new house with a new... I'll just burn this room. I'll burn this room. I'll go to the new house and start from scratch. That's how sure I am that I was visited by the evil graffiti spirit.
One day I'm figuring... and it's just me going online being like, evil words that start with W.
Well, here's the part that I think validates everything that I've said up until this point about that. So I do want to read this. It was from one of our dear listeners, had messaged me after listening to the last episode about the haunted room. I want to go to the message that he sent me after listening to that episode. So it had been, I wanted to check the dates. It had been a while since I heard from this guy. Probably like a week. Yeah, about a week. And he messaged me out of the blue one day. Yeah, for two best buds. He messaged me and he said, by the way, one question. Dallin's room. It isn't the one in the basement right under the stairs. Is it stairs? Is it? He's Scottish. And I said, no. It's the upstairs room across from my parents' room beside the bathroom. The downstairs room was possessed by my graffiti demon. And he said, bro, ... like 6 dots. Means it's serious. Bro, ... Remember when my wife and I stayed in that room one time during Christmas? Next message. Does it have red eyes? I responded, yes. Ha 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 ha. That's me awkwardly laughing. And I said, did ... you ... see ... something? And he responded, bro, I never mentioned this because I thought it was just me dreaming until I listened to the latest episode. Why do you think I know about the red eyes? ... And asked about that one specific room. ... Bruh. ... And I started laughing. Ha 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 ha. That's wild. 26 Dreyer was haunted. And he said, crazy, man. I completely forgot about that incident until now and wanted to sleep with the lights on last night. So.
That's what, okay, couple things. It's crazy that we can be full grown adults and sometimes I'll get spooked to the point that I need lights on. Or one time Justin had gone out of town. Often in the fall, he goes on hunts and he's been taking the kids with him usually. And one time Justin took the kids to go on a hunt and they were gone for probably 2 days. And I started watching like just one of those like dumb documentaries about like aliens,
house invasions, and
just by myself, like in the dark. And I was too scared to go downstairs to lock the front door by myself. Like I grabbed my dog, I pulled her all the way down with me, locked the door, pulled her all the way back, and like locked every door behind me because I was like, I'm in my 40s. This is ridiculous. But I was like, there might be an alien invasion tonight, and they're gonna come through the front door, so it needs to be locked.
I'm not gonna lie. There have been multiple times in this house, multiple meaning 3 or 4, where like I'm awake. I'm awake later than everybody because I work late and everyone's asleep, and then I'll hear like a noise, and I'll like walk around the house with a clenched fist, just in case.
Okay.
And when I say a clenched fist, like it
ready
is a
to punch
very
that alien
focused.
right in the face.
Yeah, it's my daughter. She's going to the bathroom. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, really. I don't know why I said my daughter. Like it's Noah.
I know who your daughter is.
Yeah, thank you. But no, like really, like I'll go and I'll clear the rooms one by one with a clenched fist just in case. And like honestly, the last thing I would do I would run. I would run. I'd be like, Seiko, I'm going out this room. You get the girls and go out that room. As I'm running out a completely separate exit.
I really like it. This is real knock on wood, but which I can do in my house because it's all wood.
Good, luckily.
Knock, 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 knock. I always think that I'm probably not going to be murdered because every time I watch a murder show, they talk about how like she lit up a room, and I actually like don't light up a room ever. I specifically try to darken every room that I'm in, so I don't get murdered.
Which is usually how they describe the murderer.
Speaking of people who are psychopaths. And then my other thing is, so was he... I don't want to discount this story. I don't want to discount this. There might be an evil entity lurking in the basement of Dreyer Drive. But was it at the same time that mom and dad had Mo?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay.
I can check in and be like, yo, are you sure it wasn't a cat? But
because mom and dad did have a cat that exclusively lived under those stairs.
But she
never came
red
out.
Eyes.
And one time we were visiting and one of my kids said, Gigi, that's what they call our mom. Like, Gigi, there's a raccoon under your stairs. And it was poor Mo.
Like matted. Like, all the matted
Mo
fur.
was Dallin's cat, and Dallin used to torture Mo every single day of her life. It was a girl cat named Mo. And he would take her and swing her up and down. And after about a year of that, Mo went under the stairs and never came out ever again.
No, she just didn't. She saw
I literally never saw her.
Maybe she was the evil spirit.
Oh, you know what? It could have happened.
Let's go. I want to go back.
What would the name be if she was an evil spirit?
You're trying to get me to say
what would that name be?
If she was an evil spirit and started with a W, what would it be? You're not baiting me into
let's
this.
Just spitball here. I have sent you like W names out of the blue. Just been like, is it Warlock? And you're like, no. I'm like, oh
no.
I'm gonna get it.
The degree to which the word is eviler.
Okay,
more evil.
So it's Wyatt.
Yes, actually it was. It was Wyatt.
It's Wyatt.
It was,
evil spirit named
it was
Wyatt.
Wentworth.
He's the fanciest person at Dreyer Drive.
The fanciest ghost to ever graze Dreyer Drive.
Speaking of fancy, we've talked about this before. I was just home visiting mom and dad. I went home for Canadian Thanksgiving.
That's fancy.
And that's fancy. We were very fancy. Actually, it was the worst. That's what the entire podcast was last time, was me recounting my awful trip to New Brunswick, and it took 3 days. But we were setting up for Thanksgiving, and mom and dad sometimes are very formal, way more formal than I would ever be. Like, every time we got a drink, we bought like 12 packs of Coke, or real Coke, because Mormon wives. And every time we'd like grab a can, mom and dad would hand us a glass, and I was like, Mom, it comes in a glass. You understand that? It's the can. You don't need to pour it into something.
Wait a second.
And anyway, so she was setting up dinner for Thanksgiving, and she wanted me to set the table. Sure enough, I go to pull out the serving spoons. What's in there? The Nazi spoon. The Nazi spoon that our parents own, because that's what they got from our grandfather, who served in World War II and pilfered some stuff from Nazis, apparently. Yeah. And now it's just part of our family legacy that we have this Nazi spoon.
And the fact that it's in like a regular rotation is kind of...
Oh, yeah, like... It's what I'm sure it's been put out before, where people did not realize that we had this Nazi spoon. I'm sure we got some major side eye from people, and they're like, "Here, dish up your potatoes with this." It's a spoon
for those
with a
of
swastika on it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. For those of you who haven't listened to the episode where we talked about this, there was this spoon that a guest in our house, was like, "What is this?" and saw that there was a swastika on the back of the spoon. None of us knew. Like, none of us had, we just thought it was a good serving spoon from our grandparents' house. But anyway, a bad serving spoon.
Very bad. And,
very bad.
We talk about, I think people listening to this podcast know our personal stances on Nazis, because we have talked about them more than the average podcast about siblings.
We are talking about one of the two hosts of this podcast.
You know what? As a child, I read a lot of World War II literature, and it's just really stuck with me forever. I'm always looking for a chance to bring up, be like, you guys remember really bad Nazis, right? And how they're really bad.
Well, while you are detoxing from your trip to Canada, we are in preparation mode, because Mom and Dad will be visiting us in 5 weeks. So maybe 2 or potentially 3 more recordings of this podcast before they will be here in the house with me.
We're just like, what a rotation. Mom and Dad have quite the life. The rotation that they've got. They just got home from the UK with Jonathan and George. 2 weeks later, we came up, and now they're headed to Japan. They're just like globetrotting all over the place. Then I talked to Jonathan. Jonathan texted me when he dropped them off to the airport. And he's like, just drop Mom and Dad off. And I was like, oh, call me and give me all the dirty details. What happened? How was it? And he called me and he was like, it was fine. And I was like, what? Excuse me? It's like,
went pretty good.
I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Except
for one thing. When they were walking, I think on day 1, by like like scenic river. I think there's a YouTube video of was it near the river? There's a YouTube video, not of this incident, but of Ed Sheeran on the front of this like commuter boat, like playing the guitar on this river. So that was my reference point. Jonathan was like, yeah, we were like going for this walk by the river. I'm like, wait, is it the river that Ed Sheeran was playing the guitar on the front of the boat on the YouTube video? And he was like, yes. I'm like, okay, God, I know exactly what. I don't know. I couldn't point to it on a map, but now I know exactly what you're talking about. So he said that he and Mom were kind of like a couple steps ahead of Dad, and they were walking, and then there was this like point where I guess it was like uneven, like cobblestone on the ground, and they heard this like commotion behind them, and like and then they turned around to see a group of people surrounding Dad, who had face planted into one of the cobblestones because he lost his footing. And he actually was like bleeding from his head.
How does his head?
And every picture for the rest of their trip, he looks like he's just been in a fight with somebody because his face is all scraped up.
Well, luckily he bought one of those little cabbie hats. It's become his entire personality since then. Okay, I know there is are you going to say something?
I want to just mention one thing.
You crescendoed with your hands.
I was silencing the crowd. We talked about this in a previous episode as well, how I love to take things that I learn in our podcast and work them into like a work meeting.
Yeah.
I actually used Dad's cabbie hat as I'm like pushing a laugh down as an analogy in a work meeting. So we were getting prepared to launch this new product at work, and I was trying to like rally the troops around using this as an excuse to lean into like messaging and wording and tone and personality that we normally wouldn't have with our like existing product. Because this is a net new thing. Like we have a perfect excuse to show up like how we want to be and say that and talk. And I was like, just like my dad in the UK, who is never, but when he in Canada, he would never imagine purchasing a cabbie hat. But day one in the UK, he bought a cabbie hat and now he wears it with confidence. And we can do that too. Just rallying the troops around Dad's cabbie hat.
Oh, well, Jonathan told me on this phone call, he's like, yeah, he was like, honestly, I feel like they were on their best behavior. And I was like, oh, I was like, that's funny because when they come to visit me, they're on their worst behavior. So must be nice, Jonathan, for our parents to be on their best behavior with you. I was actually furious.
Well, I messaged him. I was like, how many water bottles did they leave behind? He's like, none. They were...
Jonathan was like, I really did set the ground rules ahead of time, was like, here's your water bottle I purchased for you. You may only drink from this water bottle. I was like, hey, well, some of us didn't get to set those boundaries ever and are really paying for it now.
Well, Seiko said the same thing. She's like, you know what? Let's just go and buy them like a Stanley or whatever the equivalent is out here. And like in their welcome kit.
The entire family is like, what are we going to do about mom and dad's water bottle problem? we need to brainstorm. We need to crowdsource this. Like there's got to be a solution.
Here's how your water bottle habit is impacting my life.
This is why I'm still finding water bottles in various drawers around the house because Dad hid them when he was here. Because I kept throwing in the garbage and he was getting upset at me.
He's like, who moved my empty water bottle?
I was going to fill it up 10 times later.
Okay, so I pushed away what you were going to say for that. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, so I did tell this story in a previous episode that belongs where your W demon belongs. That no one will ever hear it because it was one of our first episodes. And I think we went a little too hard and we knew we went a little too hard. And so we were like, let's shelve it. It was our family reunion episode.
Which is recorded, but will likely never. That's one that we'll just play for the family at someone's funeral.
Oh, hopefully mine. So the one story that I, talking about Dad falling down reminded me of this story was when we were visiting Mom and Dad in New Brunswick. They had just moved there and you were there too. And so it was your family, our family. And then that day, our bonus sibling, Phil, who also lives in the area, brought his family over as well. And so we were all going to have lunch together. The kids were going to hang out, whatever. And Mom, during you and Phil were in the living room talking. And I couldn't find where Mom was. So I went to go looking for her. And she was back in the laundry room. And Mom's house, the way it is, there's the kitchen and then there's a very long hallway. And then the laundry room's at the back. So I went back to the laundry room and she was in there folding laundry. And I was kind of like harassing her, like, why are you doing that? Everybody's out here having lunch together. Why are you in here folding laundry? And sometimes, and this is where it's going to, like, this is on me, guys. I am the mean person in this situation. Sometimes Mom gets real shaky hands. And sometimes I like to make a little joke about her shaky hands. And so she was folding laundry and I noticed that her hands were shaking. And so I grabbed her hands while she was trying to fold a towel and shook them more. And I was like, oh, what? You can't fold this towel? Your hands are so shaky. What are you going to do? And I was being like just a pain in the butt about it. And so she turned, dropped the towel and started to chase me down this long hallway. And I took off running. And I ran and like skidded into the kitchen island. That's how fast I was going. And Mom was chasing me. She turned and started running as well, but she slipped on her very slippery hardwood floors.
There's tile there.
There's tile. You're right. It's very slippery tile. And she skidded and fell on her head, directly like on her head. And she was wearing a hair clip at the time, like over her eye kind of. And the hair clip went in and stabbed her just under her eye. So she was on the ground and she was bleeding a lot out of her eye, a lot. And Phil has 2 daughters, and at the time they were probably like 5 and 3, just little. And mom was laying on the floor bleeding. And also I was kind of like, when you've done something and you've caused something, maybe this is not as universal as this experience as I think it is, but like you've caused something and you're embarrassed that you caused it. And so you're like, I should make fun of this more.
Yeah, double down.
I should double down.
Commit to the bit.
Be like, now you're shaky and you fall down on the floor, and was laughing at her.
Well, blood is pooling on the tile.
And she had sat up. Eventually she sat up and she was sitting on the floor, like against the wall with her head tipped back against the wall. Again, blood down her face. By this time, everybody in the house is like, they heard the commotion. They come down. Mom's bleeding out her eye and she's just leaning and she's like dazed. And I'm like, ha ha, that's so funny. And everybody's like, I can't even parse what's happening right now. And Phil's 5-year-old daughter walked over and said, this is what it looks like when someone dies. And there was blood everywhere. Guys, just so you know, she's okay. She didn't have to go to the hospital. Thank goodness, because I would have had to keep the bit up all the way to the hospital, and I didn't have that in me.
What is it with our family and the need for somebody to fall every time we all get together? We're like, hey, let's all get together and just see who's going to fall.
Who's it going to be?
Yeah.
Who's it going to be this time?
Yeah, because we talked about you falling into the garden, right? We have that. That's a video clip. It lives. It's on Substack somewhere.
You know what, guys? I'll put it back on the Substack.
Recycle it.
It's one of my proudest moments is me falling into a garden.
Yeah, we've got Dad on the most recent trip. We talked about Mom falling when she was collecting bricks. We've got Mom splitting her face open because you were making fun of her shaky hands. And I can only assume that when Mom went to wipe the blood, you're like, well, you can't wipe the blood with your shaky hands, and you're now shaking her hands again. There's blood splattering everywhere.
I don't know if we said this on the last podcast that got deleted, but Mom and Dad have been working on their will lately, right? And so a lot of our conversations have been about this will.
A very interesting podcast
like,
topic.
Mom falls on her eye. Anyway, let's talk about their will. But Mom called me and she was like, Jonathan and Ryan will be the executors of the will. I'm like, cool, great. Jonathan's a literal lawyer, so that's probably the best bet.
Tracks.
And then she was like, but we need a power of attorney. And our lawyer said it's best that the power of attorney is someone that's different than the executors of the will. And she was like, so would you would you do this? Would you be the power of attorney? And I was like, what do I need to make decisions about? She'd be like, oh, it'd be like mostly like healthcare and finance. I was like, Mom, you remember that I'm the meanest sibling. There's 5 of us and you chose the absolute meanest one of us all to make healthcare decisions about you when you're old. I was like, I don't are you sure you want? And every sibling that I've talked to about this has said the exact same thing. Like, why would they ask the meanest sibling to make? Every single one has made the same joke that I will pull the plug first before everybody else.
Let's just wrap this up. Let's wrap it up. I got a flight to catch.
Guys, she lived a good life. It's fine. Also, your house is for sale. Goodbye.
You would say that before pulling the plug? You're like, we're selling it all.
Myself.
We're selling it all. We donated everything. I love that you asked a question. I love that you asked questions. I would have been like, wait, does this make me an attorney? Am I a lawyer now? I'm a lawyer.
Of attorney, so
I would put that on a business card. Yes, I would put that on a business card. I'm like, Ryan Porter, power of attorney. Everyone would be like, what? I'm like, I'm
very important person.
Power of attorney.
Do you remember at Southwood? This should have been in our Southwood episode when we had to do the VIP program.
Kind of. Was it like?
It was in sixth grade always.
Yes. Was it like our version of Dare?
Yes. I mean, we did Dare, but it was on like a regional level. VIP was like Southwood did it. And it was values, influences, and peers.
Okay.
And like you had to do a presentation at the end of learning all about your values, influences, and peers. There'd be some type of presentation about what you learned. And like often they would involve skits. And we had to do, me and my friends did the skit. And the skit was 2 bad kids who, and you knew they were bad because they were wearing bandanas. And which is a universal sign of a bad child.
Telltale sign.
Pretending to spray paint and vandalize the school. And I was a police officer with my friend who came in, hauled them away to jail. So our local newspaper, the
news advertiser,
Ajax News Advertiser, was there because it was just a really big event, the VIP,
Huge.
the VIP showcase. And they took a picture of my two friends dressed up as the very bad children, pretending to spray paint. And it was like, these two people, one of them who does definitely listen to the pod, these two people pretending to vandalize, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't even in the picture, okay? I wasn't in the picture because I haven't I still showed that to people so that I could tell them that I was in that skit.
I was there.
Here is this. I was there. I was there at the school in my skit and the news advertiser. I'm pretty sure I still have that newspaper clipping somewhere in my house
Laminated.
to this day that I can pull out and be like, so I'm still doing it now. I'm still doing it now with the Mormon housewives. I'm like, yeah, I see them around sometimes.
I'm part of it. I also love that you were the police officer where if you were walking past 26 Dreyer Drive, our house was spray painted. The electrical box in front of our house was also graffitied from our group of friends.
From Daniel.
Yeah, Dan and one of his friends, I can't remember, was it BJ? They got busted spray painting their names on our house.
And made it really easy to find the culprit when they actually was just writing their names over and over again on the house. And then
there's a big electrical box in the front of our house on the lower part of the yard, the boulevard, I believe we referred to it as, which I also think was a stretch.
Yeah, that was made on the boulevard. Sounds very fancy.
Yeah, had an electrical box on it that was just graffitied.
And we would hang out on it,
sit
after
on it,
school, go sit on the electrical box.
And the warmth.
I feel like that explains a little bit about how things turned out. We're just yum yum radiation.
All right.
Okay. Well, are we ready for a question and our citizen grain topic?
Yeah. I'm ready for the question. And just as a reminder, I have no idea what we're talking about today.
Yeah. And you guys, I purposely made this because of our experience last time. I purposely chose a topic that would be as palatable, as non-scandalous as possible, because I just was we need to get out of this funk that we're in. And I was and the only way we're going to do this is through Citizen Grain.
Good call.
Guys, I can't believe I got a B-. I can't believe I got a B- on the essay when I'm churning out stuff like Citizen Grain. Come on. Okay, good. Here's my question for the day.
Okay.
What is something that you brought from Dreyer Drive into your family now that maybe it's a rule, maybe it's a habit that you still do to this day?
I've got a good one. That I had to stop myself. From doing just on the weekend. And so we had some friends come over on Saturday for dinner at our house. They brought their two little ones. And we decided, why don't we put the Christmas tree up a little bit early this year? Let's put it up. It was the 15th. I was like, let's put it up on November 15th. Usually we would have waited until December 1st. And I was like, you know what? We will decorate this tree as a family. Okay. So that is the umbrella under which the activity was falling under. This is a family activity. And by family activity, I mean, I'm going to do all of this and just tell you not to touch anything while I do it. Yeah, while I do it. So I'm like, all right, Noah, this is we had all the decorations out. We had cleaned them all. We had all of the garland out. And we have our tree here is pretty gimmicky, right? Anyway, it glows green and pink and purple and yellow. And anyways... Our garland is all different colors, literally rainbow garland. But anyways, we have all those sitting in a basket, and I'm like, no, let's do this. It'll be so much fun. Let's put on Christmas music, and we'll do this together. And Noah's like, all right, cool. And so she started getting the decorations and putting them on, and I was like, wait. And I took them all off and put them back in the basket. I'm like, Noah, we don't put the decorations on first. We actually
there's a process.
Yeah, there is a list. It's an order of operations here, bedmass. All
Absolutely, there is. Absolutely, there is.
We're going to work through this list.
Yeah.
The first thing we're going to do here, we've got the lights. Okay, the lights need to be in there, and the second thing needs to be
that is correct.
Yeah. And then Noah's like, and now's the decorations. She started putting them on. I'm like, actually, not yet. Not yet. Sorry. I'm going to start taking all of those off. And what we're going to do here is, next is garland. We're going to do the garland next, okay, just so you know. So garland next. And she's like, yes, finally decorations. She's putting up rainbow, I was like, not yet, take it all off. But I'm saying it now I wasn't frustrated in the moment. In the moment, I was frustrated. I said, what are you doing? I wasn't actually like that. That was my inside. The outside was like,
inside you were like that.
Thank you for being so helpful. We're going to wait for that step.
We're not ready for that just yet.
We still have to put up all of the Christmas balls.
As soon as we are, you're going to be the first person to put it on.
Yeah, all of the Christmas balls are going up next. Okay, so we do all of that. And so she's like putting them all together. And then we're putting them up. And then she put 4 touching each other in the middle of the tree. And I was like, oh, I was like, I see that you put those 4 Christmas balls all together. And as I was reaching for it, she said the thing. This is it. This is the moment. This is the thing that snapped Ryan back into the Christmas spirit and might have deleted this obsession of the list. She said, yeah, Daddy, those 4 Christmas balls are our family. And I was like, you put the decorations wherever you want. You put the decorations wherever you want, as I'm laughing because there's only like 5 decorations left. And it really doesn't matter because the rest of the tree is aces. Yeah. And then,
but guess what? And she's going to remember that part. She's going to remember the end part. She's not going to remember that you didn't let her decorate the Christmas tree.
I was like, there's a process here. And that is not part of the process. And then actually there's this Merry Christmas, like, this is a very specific reference point, but there's like a type of trophy, I believe, that gets given away at like lowrider car shows where it's not like, yes, they have trophies, but there's also ones that are like gold plated, like letters. And it's it looks like it could be the front of like a WWE wrestling belt. We have one that says Merry Christmas and it's like a gold, like, and it's like, I don't know, a foot wide and like half a foot tall. And we put that at the very top of the tree underneath the star. And I lifted up my 6, almost 7-year-old daughter to put that piece right under the star and put her down. And when she turned her head, I definitely changed it. I definitely changed where it was sitting, which way it was facing so that our guests would see it and be really amazed by it. So very long-winded way of saying one of the traditions and habits I pulled out and brought over to Okinawa here is the annual event of decorating the Christmas tree as a family, which is just mom putting it together and making it look like it belongs in a department store.
Hey, it's not real until someone starts crying and says they're never decorating the tree ever
again. I hate Christmas!
I hate Christmas. Were you listening to the patented Very Porter Christmas playlist while this was happening?
No, because I'm off of Spotify. We've talked about this. I'm off of Spotify and on Apple Music. I've got most of it ported over, but I definitely didn't bring over any of the whack ones that you have on there, like the ones that are absolute trash. And I'm like, not that one.
That doesn't exist because they're all bangers.
Well,
Christmas
everyone needs to go back and listen to last year's Christmas episode because there will be many people on my side for the ones that you guys have added.
I'll put it in the show notes. Everybody, you guys can enjoy the Christmas spirit with the perfect Christmas playlist.
Yeah, I'm gonna post mine. I'm gonna post mine. We're gonna get votes.
Yours. How many versions of the Little Drummer Boy do you have on yours?
All of the ones that are fire.
Okay, so which is none of them because Little Drummer Boy is the worst Christmas song of all time. So I was trying to think of like saying I was like traditions. There's some traditions that came through, but like some of it, all I kept thinking of was like sometimes we have just our own like weird Porter slang. And the other day, the dog was in the kitchen and was bothering me, and I told her Scram Jones. And my son was like, why do you say Scram Jones to the dog all the time? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I need to ask Ryan, why do I say Scram Jones?
So Scram Jones was a DJ. Scram Jones is a DJ name.
Like my delight. You don't even know how delighted I am about this.
And I don't even know where we got it from. It was just Scram, and then it became, I guess, because Scram Jones was
Scram
a DJ
Jones.
at the time was Scram Jones. It just became Scram Jones.
And it's specifically Scram Jones to pets. Like you would never say Scram Jones to a person. You say Scram Jones.
Oh, we would.
We would. Like. You kind of like when you say it to a dog, you kind of clench your teeth a little bit when you say it. You say Scram Jones.
Yeah, like 50 Cent, like 50 Cent in the club, 50 Cent where he talks through his teeth. I think that like I would assume that every neighborhood is like this, where they just have their like made up slang and they're like little made up words. I was Jonathan always makes fun of the Toronto slang and like the Toronto like accent because of a very specific Toronto accent. I encourage everybody to go and Google what that sounds like. But we would have our own like little South Ajax slang. So Scram Jones was definitely one of them. Scram Jones actually for a while became Squam, and you would just scream it. You'd go Squam. Squam! And I don't know where that came from.
Or the word skinchy.
Skinchy face. I don't know.
That was very much like, no one today, like I couldn't say that person has a skinchy face. No one here would understand what a skinchy face means. Also, like, skinchy face is very specific to, like, we know what that means, but no, like, you know.
Yes. And then, like, for a while, there were neighborhood kids that would call Jonathan Chiddlywinks or Chiddlywinks or something like that. They'd be little Chiddlywinks. It was Chiddlywinks. They'd be little Chiddlywinks. I'm like, where did that even come from? And why is that only Jonathan? Jonathan's the only Chiddlywinks. Like, I don't know. And I might be saying something completely offensive and rude. I have no idea what that word is, where it came from, but they would call that Jonathan that by that name. And then I'm not going to say the name because they might listen to this podcast and I would hate to dig up any bad memories. But I remember in one of our teachers, so we've talked about our teacher that we've all had and she listens to this podcast, but in one of the years I was in her class, I think it was like a 4-5 split or a 5-6 split. I can't remember. And there was a kid in our class in the younger grade that the older kids would have a very funny way of saying his last name. And they would use it so much that the teacher made it a demerit word in the class. So anybody who said his last name would get a demerit. And a demerit was like a strike. And if you got like a certain amount of demerits, like you wouldn't be allowed to like go on a field trip or you get sent to the office or whatever. And so like there would be like literally times where you'd be like, hey, and you go to say the name, you're like, I can't even say the person's name because it's now a demerit word in this classroom because the way that people would say it.
Like, I just think it's interesting. I guess with that many kids, like there's the 5 of us, we all had people at the house constantly. And so it almost is like there's like you develop a shorthand between all those people. And it wasn't just you and your friends. It was like I would pick it up from your friends. And then I'd bring it to my friends. Yeah, pass it around. And so it created like this strange language. And so I'm always like, what did I bring like to my home, to my family? What traditions? I'm like, just Scram Jones. Scram Jones. Just tell him a dog Scram Jones when she's in the kitchen.
I would have such like a delightful moment or a warm heart if I was walking down Dreyer Drive the next time I visit and there's like an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old kid that sees a neighborhood cat and just goes squam, and I'm like, we got it, folks. we got it all the way down. This is cascaded down, transcends generational gaps,
heritage, legacy. This is what we're leaving behind.
I want that heritage moment commercial. It's just some kids going squam
at a cat. At Mo. Mo's under the stairs. Poor Mo.
Red eyes shining in the dark.
Red eyes. Raccoon Mo. Just trying to mind her own business. Okay. Are you ready to dive into my
what was
topic
it called
today?
What was it? Citizen Grain.
Citizen Grain. What do you think Citizen Grain could possibly be about?
I see this in a Pixar movie where it's like some type of like kitchen oriented Pixar movie and they're watching a movie called Citizen Grain and they're like corn, they're cobs of corn.
Yeah. So the people are cobs of corn?
No, the cobs of corn are watching Citizen Grain.
Got it. Okay, it sounds great. But is in the movie Citizen Grain, are they also corn cobs?
No, they are. It's wheat. It's What are they called?
This is gold, baby. This is gold.
What are they called? What's an actual like wheat? Not a sheath of wheat. What is it called? Like
shaft?
A shaft? We're gonna stay away from that one. I'm gonna have to Google it. No, hold on. I need to Google that. A sheaf. Yeah, I was like so close.
I was close. I said shaft.
What did I say? I said a sheath with TH. I was closer.
If we just
mine's just a mispronunciation. Yours is completely. Mine was
okay. It's that. Infamous
I can't believe I was that close.
Okay. Well.
And in plural, for those of you who are wondering, sheaves.
Also, never mind. Whatever. I don't know why we're talking about this. This might be the worst.
Yeah, listen. Scram Jones.
Scram Jones, that topic. Except not, because Citizen Grain is actually about the Kellogg brothers. What do you know Kellogg from?
The cereal?
The cereal.
The cereal company?
Yeah. The story of the Kellogg brothers is weirder than you might imagine.
They were brothers?
Yeah, there was 2 Kellogg's, actually.
Okay.
So are you Googling it right now? Oh, you're Googling it right now, so you can pull it up. Okay. So the brothers we're talking about right now are going to be John and Will. John is the older brother. He's the older one. So John was actually one of 6 original children. His father, his mother passed away, and his dad remarried and had 11 more children
Why
with
not?
his second wife. So there were 17 Kellogg's. So when you say were there brothers, yeah, there were actually many.
There
many
were
Kellogg's.
2 basketball teams worth.
2 basketball teams worth of brothers. But the ones we're talking about are John Harvey and Will Keith. John was kind of a sickly kid when he was born, and he only went to school until he was age 11 because he was missing so much school all the time. He went to work in the family broom factory. The Kellogg's were broom people. And he eventually grew to be an assistant and left the broom factory to go work for this evangelist preacher. And the evangelist preacher was really obsessed with the idea of like healthful living, like that the things that people were doing, this is in the 1800s, early 1800s, that the things that people were doing were causing them to have bad lives, specifically when it came to their diets. Breakfast, so we're talking about 1850. Breakfast in 1850 was mostly consisted of fat, caffeine, and alcohol. That's how most people started their day.
Why not?
And in order to make any meaningful nutrition, you'd have to build a fire to cook that food. So most people then defaulted to these easy ways of getting breakfast.
A pint of beer.
It's a pint of beer.
That's too much work. That's pouring a beer by it.
So John goes and works with his evangelist preacher, who's very obsessed with the idea of living healthfully and also abstinence to all things. Just pretty much like it was a no fun zone with this evangelist preacher. And one of the things that he taught was vegetarianism. So at a very early age and ahead of his time, John became a vegetarian while he was working for them. And when he got a little bit older, when he was 16, he left to become a school teacher.
Sorry, on 2 of those things. He was a vegetarian before 16.
Yes.
1-6.
Very annoying child. You know that, and can you imagine in 1850, a very annoying child who's like, actually.
Who then becomes a teacher at 16? That is the most annoying child.
He's like, it's giving Doogie Howser. And so he goes to become a teacher. And while he was at school teaching, some people talked him into taking this medical course. He never became a doctor, but he did follow through on a couple of medical courses. There were no you weren't a certified doctor in 1850. So he took these courses and started like dabbling in the idea of health as a healthcare provider.
Okay, so like me with architecture and comedy.
Yeah, so basically you as a hardworking comedian architect. He did end up going to the University of Michigan, and he graduated in 1875 and immediately went to get a job at a place called the Western Health Reform Institute. Okay. Now, the Health Reform Institute, this is me turning over my page, rebrands. And it rebrands as, and this is important, it rebrands as the Battle Creek the Battle Creek Medical Surgical Sanitarium. Do you know what a sanitarium is?
No, but it also sounds like if I got one of my teenage friends at like age 13, 14 being like, guys, we need to make up a name for this facility, they would have called it that.
Well, he was 16.
Yeah.
As a 16-year-old vegetarian.
What was
the Battle Creek Medical Surgical Sanitarium?
We're going to call this a medical surgical sanitarium. I would have been like, yes.
You got it. It's all of the name. So a sanitarium in that time would be somewhere almost like a rehab. Sanitariums were often for, let's be honest, it was often for men to put their misbehaving wives in a place when they were like, she's just being way too crazy. She won't let me beat her anymore. So I'm going to send her to the sanitarium. So sanitariums were like, I guess you could say like a rehab or retreat. Sometimes people went on their own. Sometimes people had to go because they were committed from loved ones. So it was real gamut of people at the sanitarium. Now he's working at the sanitarium and he's overseeing like the nutrition program specifically. As a vegetarian, that's John's entire thing, is that he's obsessed with nutrition. When you're at the sanitarium, you're not allowed alcohol, tobacco. Your entire day consists of rigorous exercise. And not only is it total abstinence promoted, but also very bland diets, because the idea at the time was that spicy food causes spicy behavior. And so they
Oh.
wanted everything to be as bland and regular as possible. During this time, John ends up getting married to a woman named Ella who comes to work with him at the Battle Creek Medical Surgical Sanitarium. And she has a test kitchen, basically. So she's testing out different recipes for these extremely bland foods that they're giving the people that are stuck at the sanitarium. Some of the food they came up with was New Holine, and that was a peanut pate, a ground peanut substance. Another one was called
peanut butter.
peanut butter. Another one was called Protos, which was just mixed up grains and nuts for people to eat. And then they also promoted yogurt enemas, which I found very upsetting. I'm looking for what are your thoughts on yogurt enemas? I'd like to know.
I can't imagine hearing that and being like, you know what? You know what?
I don't know.
Let's give it a try.
The consistency of yogurt. Like, come on,
man. You can't hate it if you haven't tried it. All right. So
fair enough. So as John is just torturing his patients with bland food and yogurt enemas.
Yogurt enemas.
Will actually comes to work there as well. Will is about 5 years younger than John. And he actually works in the test kitchen with John's wife. So in 1877, the sanitarium is looking for a breakfast that's easy to consume, that's bland, that is vegetarian, all these things that John wants.
To help wash down the alcohol that people are consuming for breakfast at the time.
For breakfast. And to counteract the yogurt enemas. So he creates this dough. And it's made from wheats and oats and corn. All of those three things, which are different things that we just found out.
Yes,
you heard it.
No, I knew. Look, I didn't think they were the same thing until I saw the Wikipedia article that said that they're the same thing. But anyways,
now I'm questioning everything.
Like, what?
So he creates this dough and bakes it and then breaks it when it comes out. And so it's these chunks, and he calls it granula. And granula is what is served for breakfast in the sanatorium. So it's just these chunks. I don't know if they ate it with milk. I have no idea where that came from, but that's what he's feeding everybody. Because granula is so successful at the sanitarium, that John creates something called the Sanitol Food Company. And he's like, great, I'm really good at making food, so I should have my own food company. So now he's running the sanitarium and a food company named after a sanitarium, which I just got to say, branding wise, not great, John.
Yeah.
I don't want to be reminded of being a crazy woman every time I eat my breakfast. Fair enough, though. So Will's working at the Sanitol Food Company, and John comes to him one day and he's like, I dreamed of something. And I like this.
I like anything that starts with a dream.
I had a dream. I had a dream. It's not what you think a dream would be about, because he dreamed of a corn-based flake. He's like, oh, I had this beautiful dream, and in my dream, it was a corn flake, and I need to figure out how to make cornflakes. So Will, you're here. You're working in this kitchen with my wife. Figure out how to do it. So John himself is working on it one night, and he just can't crack the code, right? He just can't crack the code on the cornflake. So he leaves this giant sheet of corn dough that he's made in the kitchen. And when Will comes in the kitchen the next day, he's like, who left this giant corn dough flake in here? And he breaks it up. As he's breaking it up, he realizes, bingo. First of all, John should have been able to figure this out himself.
Yeah.
Bingo.
You were 90% of the way there, John.
So he comes back in the morning. It's all dried out, and actually, Will went to go roll it because that's how he was going to dispose of it. He was going to go roll it up to throw it in the garbage. And as it rolls, it goes into these perfect flakes. So they've created it. They've created the corn flake. And there's a movie from our first breakfast cereal.
There was a movie from our childhood with Charlie Sheen. It was something part deux was the name of the, I cannot for the life of me remember what movie it was, but there's a scene in the movie. Hot Shots part deux. And there's a scene in the movie where they like approach this fence, but the fence is literally like 15 centimeters tall. It's like 5 inches tall. And they're like, oh, the fence is locked. How are we ever going to get in here? And they're like legitimately like can't figure out. That's what I feel this like cornflake expedition
Situation?
how
What do
can
I
I
do with
possibly make this into flakes, this giant single cornflake? How could I possibly make this into smaller flakes? And you're like, screw it,
Cut
I can't
it?
even
Do I
figure this
cut
out.
it? I can't cut it.
I'm leaving. I gotta take
Imagine
a walk.
how frustrated you have to be to just leave it there and be like, never mind, it's never gonna work. My cornflakes that I dreamed about. So after this is done, so it's kind of this tag team effort. After this is done, John files a patent for flaked cereal called Granos in 1895. And so it's patented that it's a corn-based food that is in flakes. No one else can make this. This is all theirs. They keep testing the recipe, modify it. By the time it's 1898, they are ready to release cornflakes to the masses as this is a breakfast food for people, a healthy breakfast alternative to your alcohol. And then at the same time, by early 1900s, the cereal market explodes because it's very easy to make cereal, it turns out. And it turns out people really like eating cereal. Side note, I think we've talked about this before. We were not allowed to have sugary cereals as children. So what was in the house would be unflavored Cheerios, unflavored cornflakes. What else would we get? Sometimes a Crispix.
Yeah, Crispix. Those were high up on the list of demanded cereals in our house when we weren't allowed. To the point where like sometimes our Christmas presents would be like a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Box of cereal.
We're
box of Lucky
Thank you,
Charms.
Santa. You answered my letter. Yeah.
Fast forward to me today that I buy Cinnamon Toast Crunch in bulk in like 6 boxes at a time at Costco. We're never without it at this house.
So because it directly relates to where we are right now at this point in the podcast, last month I went for my annual health checkup, which you have to go to in Japan. We've talked about it in previous episodes.
Health checkup.
Yeah. And so this year, like when I tell you the amount of focus I put into my diet, my exercise, not my sleep, my diet and exercise, like really like flipped out. Like we talked about it before. She was like, no more cheese sandwiches because she thought that my bacon, egg, and cheese was just cheese. Like, no, there were bacon and egg in there too.
Don't worry, there's bacon on it, so calm down.
So listen to what I did. I got rid of all it for months in advance. I'm like, I'm going to crush this because when I go, I've got a life insurance policy that's about to renew. I've got to get a new one with the house, right? Like it's part of buying a house. And so I'm like, I've got to just have like the most crystal clear health check results. Anyways, I switched out my breakfast for granola. Like the only thing I was eating 6 days of the week was granola with 2 yogurts in it, and the yogurts were the oikos.
Through your mouth.
Through your mouth. Yeah, through my mouth. I was not granola and yogurt enemas. No, it was the yogurt was in the cereal, and it was like the protein yogurt, and so like double up on that. Big bowl of granola every breakfast, no problem, right? So I do this for months leading up to my health check. I go to the health check and it takes 7 weeks to get the results. So I get the results back. I got them back like literally last week, and they mark everything that's high with an H. And so I'm like looking through and I'm like, okay, how's my cholesterol not changed from last? And I'm like, what is this new H that wasn't on triglycerides? Like, why is that so high? And like put into ChatGPT. We know that's how I live my life. Put into ChatGPT. I'm like, help me understand like what could possibly be making this new thing that now I've got to worry about. And it's now going to be like a red flag on my life insurance application. It's like, well, run me down on your, like, give me a rundown of your daily food. I'm like, the healthiest breakfast. I have like a full giant bowl of granola and 2 strawberry protein yogurts, like how for breakfast. And then my lunch is usually this and my dinner is usually this. And I'm like, and look, so I take a photo of the back of the granola package. But as I do, I start to notice some things on the back that have me a little bit concerned, but I was like, let me just confirm with ChatGPT. I can read these. I know what they are. And it was like, bingo, we found the culprit. And it was like, your breakfast, those 2 things of yogurt and that thing of granola is all sugar. You're just eating. They're like, you are getting literally like 6 tablespoons of sugar every morning. I'm like, why would I have not? I've looked at this at all. Just autopilot being like, it's granola. It's healthy, right?
Seems healthy. This is something someone told me as a child was healthy.
Yeah. So now I'm doing now I'm doing yogurt enemas daily so I can get back to my baseline. No.
And corn. Yogurt, I know that's cornflakes. Got it.
So like literally it was like, take what you've been doing and divide that by 8. and now 1/8 is what you should be doing for that. And so like
a tablespoon of yogurt every morning.
The first day I was like, okay, let me get this down to the gram. So I put my bowl on the scale. And I get the granola and I'm like, when I tell you there were 10 grains of granola, I'm like, what, how am I? And I'm like, okay, now I put yogurt on top of it, I can't even see the granola now. And it's like, yes, you're killing it like a granola boss. ChatGPT. I'm like, are you sure?
Thanks.
I'm so hungry 10 minutes later. I'm like, what the heck? So anyways, safe to say I've fully recalibrated my breakfast now with the help of ChatGPT.
Back to bacon and egg and cheese sandwiches.
Back to cheese sandwiches is the only thing I'm eating.
That was working for you better anyway.
How? Yes, how? How, Sway? How,
Sway?
Anyway, continue.
Okay, so again, early 1900s, lots of cereal companies crop up. There were more than 40 cereal competitors, direct competitors to the cornflake. But the Kellogg's had that patent that they could be the only corn-based, flake-based cereal.
Flaked cereals. The patent was actually flaked cereals and process of preparing same.
Yeah, so I guess the baking and rolling it so it turned into flakes. Who knows? So there's Will. Will's there alongside of him. He's actually 8 years younger. I think I said 5. He's 8 years younger than John. Because they work together, their relationship actually isn't that great. It's a lot of John telling Will what to do and Will doing it while cursing under his breath.
Big brother, little brother energy.
Like him trying to throw out his cornflakes and accidentally making cornflakes. Like that's what's big.
And then
brother,
John patenting it. John being like, yeah, I'm going to patent this now.
Thanks, jerk. So he really resented being like the little brother under the Kellogg's name because his brother was so illustrious in the health space. So one day there's a very suspicious fire in the sanitarium that only destroys the test kitchen where they all work.
Okay.
And while that happens and they're rebuilding, Will talks John into selling the rights to the cornflake to him. He's like, oh, the kitchen burned down. Like, it's going to take so much to rebuild. Like, I'll just take care of it. Let me take care of it from here on. You worry about the sanitarium, and I'll take over the cornflakes.
Because I actually think the patent burned down too. The patent was in there.
It was in there. Probably no more patent. We're just going to go off. Right? I'm just going to go off my memory. Here's the thing about Will, though, is Will was actually a genius marketer. So Will gets the rights to cornflakes and immediately starts this marketing campaign. Will's actually the first person to ever think of putting toys in cereal boxes. So we have Will to thank for all of our color-changing tricks spoons that we got.
The first toy was actually a yogurt enema toy. I don't know. I'm going to live off that one for a while. No, it's like searching around, be like, Mom, can I get the toy? Yeah, you get it. What is this? Put that away, please. Put that away.
It's like a
what is that? Here's the yogurt.
Oh my God. So, the marketing
blowing the flake dust off it.
What is this? Oh, Johnny, it's a yogurt enemy. It's a yogurt enemy. That's what I would call it.
Also, hey.
So one of his first marketing campaigns for cornflakes, the box said, wink at your grocer and see what you get. And then he instructed all the grocers in the area, if they got winked at, they would get a sample of cornflakes.
Wow.
So he prints this in magazines, in newspapers to go wink at your grocer. I'm like, nowadays I would get you shot.
Show them the ad. But it says right here, it's like 1894.
And then he proposes adding sugar to cornflakes. He's like, I really think kids would like them more if they were covered in sugar.
Now I know who to thank.
But John says no. John's like, I know you own the rights to cornflakes, but you are not putting sugar. Like, John still is like absolutely no fun, no sugar, and nothing. In 1906, Will decides to start his own cereal company so that he can do what he wants outside of John. John's cereal company is called Kellogg's, and Will's is called, here we go again, the Battle Creek Toasted Cornflakes Company. So marketing
One's
genius,
a
not good
marketer.
with branding,
Yeah.
right? So because it is such a mouthful, he later renames it the Kellogg's Company. So John's company is called Kellogg's. Will's is called Kellogg's Company. And that's the difference
Sure,
between they
caused
both
zero
sell
confusion.
cereal.
Yeah, probably didn't
Yeah,
cause any
and
confusion.
and probably like no resentment in the family whatsoever.
Yeah.
Actually, I wrote, this begins a huge rivalry. That's my next
Hold on, let me see. Just make sure I get this one out of the way.
Because they're both selling basically a very similar product. John goes back and begins making other cereals. He can't make cornflakes, but he can make things that are like cornflakes.
And he starts with Lucky Charms.
He starts with Lucky Charms. He's like, I guess I should start having fun. So Will decides to sue John. Little brother suing big brother now. John responds by suing Will back.
Why not?
And the entire lawsuit is over who gets to use the name Kellogg's. So both of them are using the name Kellogg's, both of them have cereal. It takes 10 years. The case reaches the Michigan Supreme Court. Will argues that Corn Flakes, the cereal that he owns, is synonymous with Kellogg's, period. And he wins the case after 10 years.
Hey.
So he is the only Kellogg that is allowed to use the Kellogg's name in any type of branding, marketing, owning a company, whatever. And not only that, John is ordered to pay all the court costs.
Wow.
And is no longer allowed to use Kellogg's to sell or market. And he's not supposed to even like use his name as any type of like, as an expert, as Kellogg's is an expert in any way, shape, or form.
What?
Will owns their last name, which is wild to me that it is essentially who gets to use the last name. Imagine our family going to court and being like, which of us is the most illustrious Porter and which of us gets to keep the Porter name? The rest of you guys are just going to have to be something else, but only one of us gets to keep the Porter name. And let's go to court over it.
What would be me?
Okay, well, actually, I think it would be Jonathan because, again, he is a lawyer. Does Jonathan want the Porter name? Probably not. He's probably wants it.
You guys take it back.
He's like,
sorry, am I the power of attorney?
I think as power of attorney, I should just use the Porter name. Porter, attorney at law. So, because of this, the brothers never speak to each other again after the lawsuit, which we hear a lot. Like this has been kind of like a refrain in these.
Is that how this podcast is going to end? Is the writing on the wall?
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's my long game, Ryan.
Is the writing on the wall here that this is going to end in flames? We're going to sue each other.
I'm like,
which one can use the Dreyer Drive podcast name? And then we just don't speak to each other ever
again. They both lived until their 90s. So either way, like I guess the cornflake no fun lifestyle yogurt enemas worked because they lived to be very old, but very unhappy because they never. Moral of the story: yogurt enemas. But yeah, I think it's weird that all of these sibling stories, when I'm like researching, and for some reason I knew about the Kellogg brothers, like dimly in my mind. Again, my brain is just filled with bits and bobs of things that I've heard. And so I was like, oh, like that should be like, I should look it up. And I was like, again, a set of brothers that start out okay, eventually sue each other and never speak again, even though they die of old age.
Do you know if the family had to like take sides the same way that like Adidas and Puma like split a village?
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't read anything about that. Like I was obviously thinking a lot about the Adidas and Puma situation, but it doesn't sound like, I think by nature of how many children were in the family, it wasn't a very close family anyway. It seems like they kind of just were doing their own thing. I don't think it was as tight-knit as the Adidas Puma situation.
John Kellogg, though, like I'm reading different parts on the Wikipedia profile, the Wikipedia page. So obviously it's completely for sure 100% correct. Like was actually maybe ahead of his time for some of the things that he believed for health. I'm sure some of it is like really off the wall stuff, but like around like gut flora and like gut health and what like the germination of wheat, properties of water and what water can do. He strictly opposed tea and coffee because his view is that caffeine was poison. Buddy,
Oh,
have
okay.
you?
Okay, bud.
So we didn't have kids.
Check my fridge.
So
Check my
tell me,
fridge.
tell me you have kids. Tell me you don't have kids without telling me you don't have kids.
Like, okay, well, if you can't drink caffeine, what gets you out of bed in the morning?
Through life. Invented massage devices.
Yeah, he went on to invent quite a few things.
Phototherapeutic inventions with, I guess, using light. Anyways, really kind of interesting life that he had devoted to health and trying to make people healthier.
Yeah, I think he might have done it in a little bit of a strong arm way. But he did it.
With a little more branding, my triglycerides would have been a lot lower.
It was the branding that got me all along.
The will. I'm like, it says this has got to be. It says granola. It's healthy.
It's like, wink at your grocer. Here's some granola.
I got high triglycerides. Is what I got.
I wonder how many things in my house are. This is a weird thought. How many things in my house were like created by, have like the legacy of a family like involved? And so I'm like opening my cupboard. I'm like, okay, I've got Kellogg's here. Like, what else in my house was built upon like a sibling rivalry and a family that never speaks to each other again?
I think we just uncovered. I know we do this all the time, but like, do you remember? Geez, what show was it? There was like a little cup man. It was like a glass. It was like a painted. What was that? What was that?
Was it on Sesame Street?
It was like Sesame Street or like one of those like TVO shows, but there was like a character. I'm gonna find this, but there was like a character painted like on the glass, and it was like stop motion where he would like slip across like the counter out of the cupboard or whatever. I imagine now a series where it's a documentary series, but it starts with somebody opening up their cupboard and like it's the stories of these people that created the things that we use day to day. So like the Kellogg brothers like jump off of a cornflake and like it dives. Man, I am in the wrong. I am AI.
You're just absorbing, spitting out, absorbing. Like what? All this information, spit out new information.
That's a great kid series. Netflix. Put me on the payroll.
Call me. Do you remember we used to have a VHS tape that had 99 children's cartoons on it?
Yes.
And they were all like off-brand children's cartoons. Yes. And there was one of them that it was a library or a bookstore. And it was nighttime and the person locked up and all of the books came to life, but they came to life like in character. So like if there was a book of Little Bo Peep, like a bunch of sheep came out. The Invisible Man it was just clothes on the front because he was invisible. And they were all dancing and singing. And I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, oh, I remember, like, again, this is me, Little Monsters, good. I was like, remember those good memories I had? I turned it on, Ryan. What
do you mean you turned it on? You put the
racist. I put it on YouTube. It was the most racist thing that I have ever watched in my life. And I was like, oh boy. We were just watching that as children all the time.
Sorry, I was Googling for this.
To be fair,
it is Sesame Street.
Say the cartoon was from
Teeny Little Super Guy.
Teeny Little Super Guy. I remember Teeny Little Super Guy. I need to say that our 99 video cartoon, most of the videos were made in the 1950s, so it was of the time. But I don't know why we were watching it in like 1997.
Why we had it? Like fresh off the press.
It was probably from like when Video 99 would sell off their old videotapes for super cheap. When they were done renting them, we were like, oh, we're going to build our library on B-list movies.
Because quantity equals quality.
In the Porter household. Okay, so that was the story of the Kellogg. So I'm just like, you know what? Next time you're pouring your bowl of cereal, it might be General Mills. But if it's Kellogg's, thank a Kellogg brother. Thank
John for the invention and Will for the
marketing.
Getting it to your cupboard. See, that's why imagine you're pouring the cereal and John and Will come surfing out on a flake. And they say, "Hey, do you know what you're eating right now?" And they say, "Yeah, sugar-free breakfast." And they say, "Yeah, but there's more to it." And then they go and they tell history.
And what's the title of that document? What's the title of that episode?
Citizen Grain.
Citizen Grain.
There can only be one. Citizen Grain.
Citizen Grain. So let's start there. After that, I don't know where we're gonna go.
The Adidas brothers, like the Adidas Puma brothers, we got that one right there. McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. So I guess is this podcast really just about like brands that I like when I'm like,
Yeah.
let me look into this?
You just go through your
Go,
cupboards. Your
McDonald's
preparation is
Adidas
going
and
through your
cereal.
cupboards. Just looking around your room.
I'm ripping things out of the cupboards. My kids are like, Mom, what are you doing? I'm like, I've got a podcast episode tonight.
This content's not going to write itself.
Oh, okay. Well, we got to finish with an unhinged text. And
Have we had any recently?
Ryan, yes. I can't even believe you're asking this.
Rhetorically?
Where do we want to go with this? Earlier in the week, you had sent us a picture of a coloring page that one of your daughters had been working on. And it was an animal coloring page that specifically had a giraffe on it, and underneath it in giant letters said zebra.
It's
So
giant.
that was fresh in our minds when we were talking about your royalty checks. For backstory, if people don't know, that you did actually write a book once upon a time.
Acquired and published. That was published. It has been used in schools. It has sold thousands and thousands of copies.
As noted by your royalty checks.
As we're about to find out.
Okay. So you sent a message to the sibling thread. It says, I've given you all so many reasons to brag about me to your friends, coworkers, and random people in line with you in any public place. But the thing I hope you brag about the most, the fact that I'm a paid published author. Like, I get royalty statements biannually. Then you sent us this. Very dramatic. And then you sent us a screenshot of your royalty statement, which is $4.05.
USD. It's very important for my Canadian listeners and anyone in Japan.
Whoa.
That's like 750 yen.
I said, wow, looks like you'll be flying me to Japan in checks notes 300 years. Daniel said, okay. Well, it's still something. Just make sure you invest it. And I said, like in accurate coloring books for your children. You said, I think I get charged to withdrawal, and I'm not sure I have enough royalties to cover it. Then we got real dark because you replied to my comment about flying to Japan in 300 years, and you said that's one way for one person. And I said, well, in 300 years, I will be escaping the wasteland of the United States in my robot body while everyone else is long gone, so it'll be fine. And then Daniel said, I don't know where, because Canada is an absolute wasteland now beyond belief. And I said, well, my optimistic take is that everyone is dead. And that was it, guys.
I wonder if we should, like, there's a world where I'd love to invite random strangers as viewers to the group chat. Not because I think it's like extraordinary, just so people can understand that, like, we're not necessarily like super cherry picking here. This is like literally just how we stay in touch with each other.
This is
why we're not going to sue each other. None of us are going to be like, you owe me. I'm transparent. I'm an open book. Wait for it, book. I'm an open book. You know exactly how much I got going here.
I want people to get dropped in because, people will often ask me about, like, what is it like living so far from your family? And I get that question a lot, actually, because I will say, like, oh, does your family still live in Canada? And I'm like, no, actually, we live, like, none of us are in the same time zone. We're in 4 different countries, whatever. And I'm like, also, like, I'm good. I have these types of conversations to get me by. Like, who needs to be in the same room as someone when we can talk about the American wasteland and your royalty checks?
That conversation, I don't think could have happened any other way.
No, imagine having that in real life. We couldn't do that face to face.
Yeah, I got to take out my phone. I got to, like, log in. I'll be like, just wait. It's gonna be, but I can prepare all that in advance.
It's gonna be so good. It's
prepare that material, right? Send it. Those are scheduled. I schedule you guys like social content. Every 2 weeks, I drip something to you in hopes that it might make the podcast unhinged text.
You
message.
are really good at being the person when no one has talked in the sibling thread. Because, like, let's also be very clear. It's not like this is every day we're having conversations like this. We will go weeks between these conversations, and then there'll be like 2 days where everybody's talking a lot, and then it'll go away for a while and come back.
But the thing is, like, the thing that's really missing are the like, hey, how's it going, everybody? Give an update. There's none of that. It's literally just like,
no, thank
check
you.
out this wild thing that happened on the weekend, or look at this
I
picture
don't
of
even
my
have,
crazy.
even when we FaceTime our siblings, I don't ask how things are going in their lives. We
Let me tell you about
immediately
me.
jump in. Like, hey, Ryan, how are you?
Here's what's new.
You would think I had a stroke if I started a conversation that way. Our conversations immediately just jump into what we were talking about last time on the phone.
Or something with no
complaining about Mom and
context. Yeah.
Just jump right in. When Jonathan doesn't have something to share in the complaining about mom and dad category, I gotta put him on ice. He's out.
He's out. He's out. You know what? We have another family chat without him.
I know. Do you know? I'm like, I have other brothers. You realize that who will talk to me about this.
So, moral of the story for this one, as we bring it to a close, one, we're back on track. You and I are back.
We are.
It took us a while to get back. This one, we just took us a while to get back into it. But let's forget the last one even happened. Right? Until next year when we're trying to think of a Halloween topic. We're going to be like, did we remember last year? Let's not.
Ryan, we have a voice remote, right? And the kids wanted to watch a movie yesterday. And I said, kids movies into the remote. And Little Monsters came up and I almost had a nervous breakdown.
Block it. Just block it. But I guess the real moral of the story here is for anyone that's listening to this and thinking about this or currently engaged with this, don't ever go in business with your family members. A sibling, you are doomed.
And bad idea.
Even if you're in business with them right now, sue them right now. Just get it over with. That's how it's going to end.
Yeah, or like if you have
start the litigation now.
End it. One day, Ryan, I would like to do an entire episode. Remember when I wrote some scripts for you to do YouTube videos from?
Yeah, let's do it.
And you were the Jonas Brothers. You were Edward from Twilight.
I'll reenact them. If you find them, I'll reenact them.
You have glitter all over your face.
Let's go find the videos. They exist somewhere.
Well, I know. They're on YouTube somewhere. We need to find them. And I think we should just do a watch party. Let's do a watch party. It reminded me because you said don't do business with your siblings, despite the fact that we have done business with each other multiple times.
Loosely. I'm sure I still owe you money on something.
By business we mean we never actually exchange funds or money is never made, but
we sign contracts.
Contract.
All right. Well, this was fun. I'm glad we're back, and we'll do this again in 2 weeks.
I feel good about it.
Talk to you then.
Okay, bye.
Bye.